it was the main explosive. Now we use ammonium nitrate. That's NH4NO3, ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate is that's used in the form of an emulsion or a gel, or in ANFO, fuel oil soaked, which is a little bit simpler. But let's see how these things are. Let's take a look at the gel. This is ammonium nitrate. Those who take beginning chemistry courses, they're kind of familiar with ammonium being cation, nitrate being a popular anion. So these things they dissolve very well in water. So what we do is we put it in water. Then we gel the thing in water using some natural polysaccharide. Guar gum is very often used. It's gelled, and there's also a fuel around it. This, by the way, it'll have the consistency of gelatin. It's actually water resistant, so it's used to blast wet areas for mining purposes. We also need aluminum powder, because aluminum powder helps act as a fuel. When this, again, we have the nitrate in there. Remember the NO3, it's the nitrate. That oxygen, it will cause fast oxidation, and therefore high explosive. There's also NH4. Then that N again would turn into N2, a stable gas. These things produce a lot of gas very quickly, which is what causes the blast of the explosion. Anyway, so that's the idea. It's in the form of a gel, and it's water resistant, and it can be ignited easily. There's also the emulsion. Remember that NH103, it's ionic, it's soluble in water. And so you can actually supersaturate it in water. It's harmless when it's in water, really. But you put it in water, you add oil to it. Now, oil and water don't mix, but there's a way to get the oil and water to mix. They use a surfactant that emulsifies it and enables this supersaturated water solution to mix very well with the oil. The surfactant stabilizes it. So what we have effectively are tiny, microscopic even, water droplets containing this nitration in oil. The oil is the fuel. The NH4NO3 is it supersaturates the water, and that is what it'll react. The NH4NO3, here's the oxidation. Oil is the fuel. Major blast. Something to put glass, resin, or ceramic, like unreactive little spheres in there to control how sensitive it is to and how explosive it is. I mean, the more of these other things, these ceramics you add, the less quickly it's going to ignite and react. Here's a simple thing. Again, we have our NH4NO3, the ammonium nitrate fuel mixture, the ANFO. NH4NO3 is an ammonium nitrate. This is basically just the ammonium nitrate, and it's soaked in fuel oil. Remember, this is a solid. This is a solid white thing, easily dissolves in water. But you can take this solid and soak it not in water, but in fuel oil. It's not going to dissolve in the fuel oil. By the way, fuel oil is what people use to heat their homes. So it's very easy to obtain. You take the ammonium nitrate, you soak it in, you soak your fuel oil with this ammonium nitrate, and you don't even need to use fuel oil. You can use confectioner's sugar. That's often used. It also acts as a fuel. So this is inexpensive. It's safe until you're ready to detonate the thing. And it's very easy to obtain them. We have the ammonium nitrate. It's by fertilizer. You can get a lot of that. You can buy it in bulk. And fuel oil, again, you go to most stores, they'll sell you fuel oil. It's pretty much available everywhere. People use these fuel oil heaters for camping or for even for the home. So these things are very available. There's one more thing that you need in order to make this explode with a high explosion. I won't tell you that, but people know what it is, and they use it. This is often used to blast holes in sides of mountains during mining operations. And the most damaging homegrown terrorist act by an American citizen, sort of. He was what they call a sovereign, but whatever, a native of the United States of America against the United States. That was done by Timothy McVeigh in the Oklahoma City bombing. That's what he used. He used a ton of this ammonium nitrate with fertilizer. He used a PET, and he did the detonation cord, and he knew what that other ingredient was and how much to add, and it really was terrible tragedy. They caught him. I don't know if he even cared about being not caught, but they caught him. But still, he used this ammonium nitrate with a fuel oil, and he used a ton. He filled the whole van with the stuff. And the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center, it didn't work that well. 5 people were arrested for trying to make an ANFO explosive, same kind of explosive, ammonium nitrate with fuel oil. There's another thing. Most of those explosives we talked about contain nitrogen and produced nitrogen gas, but they contain nitrogen in the form of NO3. This is, curiously enough, it does not contain nitrogen. This is the peroxide that's unstable. It's triacetone triperoxide. It decomposes violently with a lot of gas and produces carbon dioxide when it has the fuel of the acetone, the triacetone in the triacetone triperoxide. The triperoxide, that's the oxidizing agent. It's a homemade explosive, and acetone. Again, these things can be found, and under acidic conditions, which again is not so hard to make. So this is unfortunately used commonly for people who want to make homemade bombs. And one of the unfortunate things is in the Middle East, this is popular. They use this triacetone triperoxide, and they use it against innocent people. And you can call it a crime if you want, but it's not really considered a civilian type of crime. It's a terrorist crime. Anyway, it's not just in the Middle East. It spread to the Western world. The London bus bombings were done with the same kind of explosion. Those use pipe bombs. This, by the way, is a reason why countries like the United States are very interested in the Middle East. It's halfway across the world, maybe, but what goes on there doesn't stay there. The dangers there, the evils and the terrorism that goes on there does spill out into the United States and other Western nations that are not in the Middle East. So paying attention to the Middle East is actually of importance. Anyway, the thing is, the problem with this is that it's hard to. We can buy this peroxide. That's not a problem. Acetone is again, we can buy that. That's it's nail polish remover. The main component of nail polish remover is acetone. So the peroxide that again, that hydrogen peroxide is sold in stores. The thing is that they sell it at very low concentrations. So the question is whether you can concentrate it. Yeah, it can be done, and there's a commercial route toward creating this triacetone triperoxide. So that's why it's dangerous. So we have to be aware of this kind of explosive as well. Some people would try to actually use the liquids to make it on a plane, and that's why we can't carry liquids on a plane anymore. They caught people trying to do this using liquids, so therefore we can't carry liquids on the plane. So is the sad nature of the world. You have one or two evil people do something wrong, and the rest of the world has to suffer. By the way, you can't carry liquids into courthouses often, federal courthouses, for the same reason. They're afraid of making this triacetone triperoxide. There are military explosives, and it's important to know because people do get things from the military. Either they steal them or they bribe people and they buy it from them. But military explosives also do occur in crimes.